Hello, wrestling fans. This is Marvelous Mike, and welcome to another episode of the Wrestling MANIAC podcast. And this week in pro wrestling, and we're going to be discussing WWE Elimination Chamber and what I thought about it, and also we're going to be discussing just the main news story of the week. There's been a lot happening in pro wrestling, and of course the main story of the entire week is that Cody Rhodes is no longer with AEW, and we'll be getting into all of that. And I just wanted to take some time before getting into all of that and seeing exactly what was going to happen at Elimination Chamber. So WWE had their Elimination Chamber today in Saudi Arabia, and it was a decent show. All the women's matches was good. There was we got, had the whole, glad the women are able to, compete there, and they had a good showing, each and every one of them. Bianca Belair won the women's Elimination Chamber. Of course, it was just a one-off match. We all know that Lita was going to lose to Becky Lynch, but it was a decent match, and Lita had a really nice send-off at the end of her match. Would have been interesting if that would have set up the match for WrestleMania, but WWE is really doing a good job in creating a really new superstar in Bianca Belair, and you have to give them credit for that. And it continues the story that goes from SummerSlam with Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch, and hopefully the WWE will do the right thing at WrestleMania, and Bianca Belair will once again win the WWE Raw Women's Championship, which I wish the WWE would do the right thing and just have one championship in their company for the women, because it looks that way. It looks that is what exactly the WWE is going to be doing with the men's division, which should happen at this point in time. So we looked into some other matches that was going to be happening. I mean, everyone was anticipating Cody Rhodes to show up to this match. And he might have been backstage. We don't know, as reports have not indicated at this point. There's a good chance maybe that he was there. The match between Roman Reigns and Goldberg, it had the effect of what really everybody thought that it was going to do. It was just really to please the fans in Saudi Arabia. At this point, I think this may have been Goldberg's last match with the company, and he's just not really a draw or a threat anymore. Trying again to build off of part-timer name, trying to get some type of nostalgia act for Roman Reigns, and setting up what exactly they're going to be doing in the company, which I'll get to that here in a minute. The men's Elimination Chamber match was expected outcome with Brock Lesnar in the match. Brock Lesnar is already supposed to be facing Roman Reigns, and really they did it in a way to where they did not have Bobby Lashley to lose any face in the match by saying that he got injured when Seth Rollins buckle bombed Austin Theory through the Elimination Chamber. It was a interesting spot. Austin Theory just got abused during this match, to be honest, with the bumps that he was taking. he's a great young talent, and I'm glad that he got showcased. I mean, we all thought that, I thought that, maybe there was a chance, and everybody was looking for the chance of Cody Rhodes to come down. But, even though we can think the WWE to do something that is monumental and legendary, most likely, as the promo indicates from The Miz, all we're going to get from Cody Rhodes when he comes into the WWE is a tag team with The Miz versus, Rey Mysterio, which was on the pre-show. And so I think that's pretty much what's going to happen with WrestleMania with Cody Rhodes. At least Cody Rhodes probably is going to get on the card with WrestleMania. I did not like, really, that the different ones, there wasn't a story line there to set up other matches for WrestleMania. And I really think that this has really been the issue that I've had with the WWE this year. I mean, it's all about Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. And, I mean, Brock Lesnar wins the Royal Rumble. Though we can, Brock Lesnar's probably the biggest draw, in pro wrestling right now, to be honest. And, he probably is making an insane amount of money with the WWE, and they're getting every bit that they can get out of him. And it's most likely going to be a one-off with him at WrestleMania. This is probably going to be his last match, and then he'll probably go back to the Canadian frontier, to his farm in Canada, and we won't be seeing Brock Lesnar for a while, because, it's title versus title. Vince McMahon is doing this again, what he did back, I believe it was WrestleMania, 8? They did this with title versus title. Might have been WrestleMania 4, one of the two, or 5, I'm not sure, where the Ultimate Warrior was versus Hulk Hogan. And again, the WWE really is not featured any other of their titles. The Intercontinental Champion, who is now Sami Zayn because he went on SmackDown, is just a forethought, really. I mean, the title doesn't mean anything. The United States Championship really doesn't mean anything anymore. I mean, they're not of any sort of importance at all. I mean, in here in Saudi Arabia, they should really be pushing, some of their other stars, rather than just everything hinging upon Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar comes in to the Elimination Chamber. He destroys everybody, and of course wins the WWE title again. Bobby Lashley was protected by getting injured during the match. Who knows what's going to happen there? I imagine might be a one-off match between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley on Monday Night Raw leading up to WrestleMania. But honestly, there's probably not going to be anything else that's going to be happening there, because it's going to be Brock Lesnar, the storyline going in, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, and and we're going to have a unification of the belts, and or titles, as the WWE is famous for wanting their talent to say. How do I feel about that? I think that it really is sort of, with a very condensed roster, and with everyone being able to make the shows, why not just do away with the Universal Championship and just have the WWE Championship again? It makes perfect sense. Maybe they will feature the Intercontinental Championship and the United States Championship again, and we can get more showcase on that. Shinsuke Nakamura had the championship for a good while on the Intercontinental Championship, and he only defended it, I think, one time, and it was a good match that was on SmackDown between him and Sami Zayn. But still, yet, it's just is what it is. And it's really, watching the WWE, there's really nothing, I don't think there's anything spectacular about the storylines going in. I know that Stone Cold's supposed to be making an appearance and having a match versus Kevin Owens, and there really hasn't been no build up to this. I mean, other than just a few promos. It looks like the WWE would do something and have something to build up this match. I mean, I believe that the next live main event is going to be WrestleMania, and they have around, I would say, just a little over a month to build that up, and the WWE really just thinks that they can build this up within a month. Am I just totally disappointed that Brock Lesnar won again? That he looks like a monster beast? No, I'm not surprised. I don't know if I'm not disappointed. I mean, it's just the WWE product. They are basing everything in their company upon building up Roman Reigns, and they're just feeding him every old star that there is, and he's made into this complete Superman. And maybe they're doing this in a long-term effect to try to build up a possible match between him and The Rock in a year. Who knows? I don't see any point in the reason why The Rock would come back at all to professional wrestling. He doesn't need it. I mean, if you're making $30 million a picture, why even, why jeopardize that? So, that was really the Elimination Chamber, and it was okay. I mean, everybody, I guess the crowd in Saudi Arabia was pumped, and they was enjoying it. Nothing surprises me really anymore with the WWE. I mean, when it had been something just to get people talking, they really wanted to make an impact. Cody Rhodes debuts and wins and becomes the WWE champion. At the Elimination Chamber, that would have been just, I think, great. And have Brock Lesnar, get eliminated or something like that with a fluke, or don't even have him in the Elimination Chamber, or have him attacked by Roman Reigns or something like that. To try to save face with him and do something different. But this is what the WWE is building all their hopes and their dreams on, is still yet continuing this reign of Roman Reigns. And there's a pun there. I mean, it's not that I don't discount it. It's not that they've had over 500 days of Roman Reigns having this title, so why not just combine both belts? Let him just let him just set Bruno Sammartino's record. Let him go 5 years without losing the belt, or how many ever years that Bruno Sammartino had. Who knows? So the big news in pro wrestling this week was Cody Rhodes leaving AEW. Am I surprised Cody Rhodes left AEW? No. Am I surprised that there's been rumors for over a year there's been issues that Cody Rhodes has had issues backstage with people backstage? And do I blame Cody Rhodes for leaving AEW? No, I don't. Do I think it's all a work? No, I don't. Why would he leave AEW? I just think he got tired of the BS. I don't blame Cody Rhodes one bit for wanting to be treated like a star. They brought CM Punk in, and I can understand that Cody Rhodes wants to still be featured, still wants to be the guy, and I understand that there was conflicts backstage between Brandy Rhodes and some of the talent, and and you have to understand he's Cody Rhodes. He is the son of the American Dream, and I am sure that there was a lot of differences between the way that Cody was treated and between his philosophy and booking matches, the way that he was brought up, and the way that he was thought that it was the way he thought things should be done, and then the philosophy that's in AEW, and whether that's right or whether that's wrong. There's some parts of AEW that are entertaining, and there's some parts that, in my estimation, is garbage wrestling, and that is backyard garbage wrestling. And but then there are some parts that are very good, and it's to each their own, and what fans think is the best part of what they want to do and build. I would have liked if they had built more of this in AEW. They would have built up Hangman Page just a little bit more before they put the title on him. But it is what it is, and and Cody Rhodes is never would have been in the title picture. They have there's been out there rumors that AEW is really struggling financially, bottom line, and I can see why. I mean, look at all of the talent that they are bringing into AEW. There needs to be I know we have Impact, and we have New Japan Pro Wrestling, but there really needs to be another place for people to work at. There needs to be another major promotion out there that has TV time, and because the WWE has released a lot of their talent in order to make money, and in my opinion, the WWE is being set up to be sold within that this is what Vince McMahon is going to do. He's not going to leave the WWE to his kids. He's going to ride off into the sunset with a big fat check, and that day, I believe, will come. And WWE has been made into a profitable company that shareholders and stockholders want to invest in, and that's just the nature of a corporate business. And I want AEW to be out there. I want them to be successful. They have their own way of doing things, but it's they overkill things. They overkill the hardcore matches on TV. They bleed too much on live TV, there's just things about it that it is just not really my taste. But that's just me, and I am the way I look at things, and I know individuals, they just love AEW, and that's great, and I'm glad that it works for them. And there's some good things about it, but they are overextending themselves, and their roster is way too big. And to be a profitable company, to make that step and to become profitable, they're going to have to condense the roster, and they're going to have to streamline exactly what kind of pro wrestling company that they're going to be. And they have done that. Instead of trying to please everybody, they're just going to have to come out with a product that defines who they are. And in many respects, they have done that. And in some respects, they try to cater too much to the barnyard wrestling. But hey, that's if they like that. If fans like that, that's good. But you have to be profitable as a company. You have to be able to be marketable to sponsors, and that's just the way in the nature of business. And hopefully that AEW's brighter days are ahead of them. Like I have said, the match that is in AEW between is not with Jay White, but the match that will be their biggest draw at any pay-per-view will be Kenny Omega versus Okada, and they need to make that happen before Kenny Omega's contract runs out. That's the match that is going to be their biggest draw in AEW history. And CM Punk it's great that he's there, but CM Punk's nostalgia act only has a lifeblood of so long. It's just like the thing with Goldberg. Those days are past for Goldberg, and I hope that Goldberg seems like a great guy. And everything, but the nostalgia act of Goldberg is over, and I hope we don't see him again. There's people. Because what is there to fear about Goldberg? There's nothing. And I know the WWE is going back to the well again and trying to get Stone Cold Steve Austin to come back. And maybe he is going to come back for one more match. I don't want him to. Stone Cold had the perfect ending to his career. And I really, I love his appearances. I love where he shows up and he stuns everybody, but, to get and to say, not that Stone Cold couldn't be successful in this day and hour, but, Stone Cold is not TV PG. And anything less than what we got the Stone Cold during the Attitude Era, I don't want to see, and he needs to be able to come back and be Stone Cold. Whether that would help out Kevin Owens, I don't know. Kevin Owens, it's really sad that he had that either he's stuck with an old timer or he's stuck with Shane McMahon. The last 2 years they have never, and it is WWE's creative fault that they have not built on the persona of Kevin Owens, because he could be a mega star, and he could be right up there with Roman Reigns. And the WWE, there is, like they say, they don't make really any superstars anymore, like iconic superstars. They just recycle old wrestlers to come back and defeat Roman Reigns. Maybe this is too critical, I don't know, but it's just the way I think about things. So this is my thoughts on the Elimination Chamber, and this is my thoughts on this week in pro wrestling. If I was Cody Rhodes, would I come back to the WWE? I don't know. He may work in the WWE if he gets a part-time gig, but I just hope, I don't want to see Cody Rhodes disrespected again with having something like a Stardust, because he went out there and he was really a trailblazer going into every promotion and being something. Honestly, I would have liked Cody Rhodes to go back and win the NWA Championship and to try to help build that brand with the NWA again, National Wrestling Alliance. But who knows? But we'll see what happens. We'll see exactly what, WrestleMania, we're probably going to get a tag match for Cody Rhodes. He's not going to be in any preeminent position. WrestleMania is supposed to be a 2-night event. Really, you have Brock Lesnar and you're going to have Roman Reigns probably be on night 2 as the main event, and then on probably night 1, in my opinion, it should be Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair as the main event. That's what I would do, and I would put Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair on the match before Brock Lesnar and before Roman Reigns. That's how I would structure that. I mean, we get back to, everyone is complaining about the Viking Raiders and how they were squashed and everything back during in the Elimination Chamber. They didn't even get to showcase. But hey, that's a WWE. That's the way Vince McMahon views tag team wrestling. Tag team wrestling, is not very high on the totem pole for Vince McMahon. It's more of a nostalgia act, and it's not an act where you're going to be showcased. So anyway, this is my thoughts and my theories on the WWE Elimination Chamber and This Week in Pro Wrestling. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Marvelous Mike. You all take care, and bye-bye.